Morning, how are we doing?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. Looking forward to Christmas?
Certainly am. Got a 6-year-old boy now, and it's about time that I can start buying him presents that I want to play with, not that he wants.
Looking at the Ashes, England obviously haven't had the best of starts. Do you think England can still retain the Ashes?
They can. It's going to take a mammoth effort. Obviously, they only have to win 2 test matches to retain them, not to win them outright. But 3 matches to go. Obviously, our track record at Perth is abysmal. But this current England team has made a point of breaking history. They've played some great cricket over the last few years. They've found it very difficult in Australia, and to turn it round now is going to take a really big effort, and it's going to take their senior players to stand up and be counted.
After winning 3-0 in England, what has changed since the summer?
Don't think a lot has changed. Obviously, the 3-0 scoreline in England flattered England. Didn't think they played particularly well, especially the top 5. Didn't score many runs except for Ian Bell, who held the side together. But I think the common denominator is Darren Lehmann. He was given 10 days before the start of the Ashes, when they sacked Mickey Arthur. And he came in, obviously picked a left field picker in Ashton Agar, who came in and scored a memorable 99. He also was playing league cricket. He wasn't even in the original squad. He's had 4 or 5 weeks at home with the squad to take away all the animosity in there, to make sure that they're one unit, one team. They've come up with a strategy of getting under England's skin, and he started that by saying, I hope Stuart Broad goes home with his tail between his legs crying because of all the insults and how much the crowd get at him, and the papers have taken that on board as well, and that was a big factor. And I've even seen Michael Clarke and Watson sharing a laugh and a joke at first and second slip, and after the homework gate, where he got sent home from a tour for not completing his homework, he hated Michael Clarke, and you could see them not speaking at all at first and second slip, and that's changed. And I think the Australia side are a lot more settled. They've gone at England very aggressively. They've come out with sledging. They've come out with a war of the words before. They've talked a good game, and more importantly, when they've got on the pitch, they've walked a good game as well.
It was sad news to hear about Jonathan Trott leaving. How much has this affected the England team?
It's obviously hard work when you lose one of your most consistent players, especially a pivotal role at number 3. I feel sorry for Joe Root, who came into the Test arena batting at 6. He then got asked to open, then he got put back to 6, and now he's being moved to 3. So for a young player that has played in back-to-back Test matches, it's a horrible place to go and tour at the best of time. Well, I say horrible, it's a very hard place to go and tour, and I think he's handled himself really well. But the rest of the team, you can either go one or 2 ways. You either lament the fact that he's gone and you sulk, or you bully around and you rally around and say, right then, we've lost one of our big players, everybody else is going to have to pick their game up to cope with that big loss. And at the moment, there's too many of our big name players and our experienced players playing out of form and below par.
From being Test number 1 in 2010, is this the start of a downward spiral for England?
I think it's a bit harsh. We've played some very good cricket. 2 bad games doesn't make us a bad team, especially against a resurgent Australian team. But we need to stop the downward trend. We need to put in some performances and get some confidence back. We use momentum a lot in sport. If you can get some momentum and some belief back into your players, it only takes a partnership with the bat and the ball to put the pressure back onto the Australians. And once you get some confidence, a little bit of momentum from forward motion, everything just becomes a lot easier. So to answer your question, I don't think it's a downward spiral. I think at the moment they're out of form. Australia are playing out of their skins, and we need to stop it.
Which players inspired you when you were younger?
Yeah. Players like Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh and Alan Donald, all the fast, nasty bowlers. But again, when I was playing cricket in the back garden with my dad, I used to say, right then, I'm going to be Alan Donald, who are you going to be, Dad? And he used to say, well, I'm going to be John Hoggard. And you should be Matthew Hoggard. You shouldn't be trying to emulate somebody else. You should try and be the best that you can be. So I was a little bit well, I'm not allowed to be anybody else. I'm not allowed to be dreaming about anybody else. I've got to try and be me. And part of me thought, well, that was a bit poo and pants when I was smaller, but now I think, well, actually, it's a great piece of advice. You can take little bits out of everybody, but you've got to be true to yourself.
Who is the best batsman you ever faced?
Yeah, that's a question that I get asked a lot. Modern day greats: Tendulkar, Lara, Ponting, Inzamam al-Haq. I've bowled up most of the modern day greats, but the person I found most difficult to bowl at the start of my career was Matthew Hoggard. He used to bully me something chronic, and it was first met him in Brisbane, where Nasser Hussain famously won the toss. It hadn't rained for the last 3 months, and he decided to have a bowl. And Matthew Hoggard just came, he was in a rich vein of form and just came in and slapped me all over. And I used to have nightmares going to bed and going to sleep thinking about Matthew Hoggard.
Where was your favourite ground to play at?
Favourite ground? Can't go much wrong further than Lords at home. Obviously it's allegedly the home of cricket, but the atmosphere, the setup, the way that you treated at Lords is just a fantastic, magical place. Obviously, really loved playing at Headingley, where I learnt my cricket and learnt my trade to grow up. And if I went around the world, most probably Newlands in Cape Town. The smell of the hops coming from the brewery, the smell of the meat on the barbecue or the braais, it's like home from home.
What was the best moment in your career?
So many different moments that you want to remember and recap, but obviously 2005 and winning the Ashes after 19 years was an amazing highlight. Hat-trick in Barbados, getting 7 wickets in Johannesburg, 12 in the game to win the game. 7 for New Zealand. There's so many that you stand out, but I have to go back to the 2005 Ashes.
Favourite car?
Range Rover.
Most enjoyable match?
Johannesburg.
Favourite takeaway food?
Depends what mood I'm in, Chinese or Indian.
Best holiday?
Maldives.
Best dressing room prank?
Taping things to the roof or leaving some rotting fish or rotting fruit in people's pads so to put them away and it stinks when they get them back out.
Hoggy, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.